Hi everyone, it's Cherie from Paper Pieces and Leftovers. Today we're going to put her together. We're going to start with the monkey first, the sock monkey, and secondly we'll do her. She's already inked and in my bucket, ready to go. I'm making a couple. They will be in my Etsy store. My Etsy store link is on my Facebook, which is Paper Pieces and Leftovers. My Etsy store is Paper Pieces Leftovers, but if you need the direct link, it's right on my Facebook page. Now, I am using Barely Art Glue, and they are just in fine line applicators, which these are easier for me to hold. I've been using them a long time. I know before you would see the girls use the itty bitty bottles. Well, those were a little too small and I wanted something a little skinnier, and that's where these came about for me. I went on a mission and I found them and I love them. They are pinned to my Facebook. You'll see a pinned comment, and all the links of most of the stuff I use tool-wise is there. The pan pastels, which are very pigmented chalks, finger daubers, the lip brushes. A lot of the girls now use a lot of the tools I do, which is great. And I know a lot of you guys do, but if you watch videos, you see a lot of them using the tools that I have no problem sharing with you guys. So to all the new people, welcome, because I see my followers just going up, and I've kind of took a break from scrapbooking for a little while. My husband started a new job and we just kind of lost track of time. So for the colors today, my little sock monkey is out of Encore brand paper. It's going to be mocha, and maple syrup is what I used for the hair, but you could use any color you'd like. I also did cut out the hair for another one for a friend of mine, and I cut it out in a lighter color. Excuse me, I'm a little bit dry on my throat. Talking to yourself, well, to a camera, it kind of dries your throat out a little, so I apologize. Now my reds. I used basil, and Berrylicious is the color I went with the band and the little top of his hat. And then for her dress, shoes, and bow, I used grenadine. Now, last but not least, I used, this is going to be American Crafts. I used just regular black. It's not jet black or anything fancy for the soles of her shoes. I used my regular white, which should be right here, for the monkey's hat. And then I used my good old-fashioned, be careful ordering the peach. If you're going to order the peach that I used for the skin, message me so you don't end up ordering this pack. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference in the camera, but it is very different. So just go ahead and message me so I can give you the link for the correct peach, because this is the other peach offered. So those are the two peaches. And I've had a couple of you message me that you guys have gotten the wrong ones. So go ahead and message me for the correct link. Shrimp is very close to the correct peach that I use. And if you do have shrimp, because that was one of the only options we had for the longest while until I worked with the one of the design team admins from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop to get us the peach that I've used for many, many years. Use the back side of the shrimp. You'll see a lot of the girls use it. I've been saying it for a long time because the front side is very bright with the orangish color. All right, let's get the monkey going together. I imported her into Cricut Design Space and I left the size alone. So whatever size it cut out is the size that she is. This file is from Treasure Box Designs, and it is Treasure Tot Girl with Sock Monkey. That's as simple as it gets. I'm not doing a voiceover today just because I want to try to go a little bit slower instead of so fast since we have so many new people. But I always change my mind. I think it's a good idea to leave it in real time, but I hate wasting people's time. And I don't mean it in a bad way, like, you know, you don't want to be here, but I mean it that I would rather speed it up for you guys and make it go as fast as I can. That way you guys can catch the next video, whether it's mine or somebody else's. Oh, I did forget one color. So this color that I used for the muzzle and all that fun stuff is going to be American Crafts. And it is in the color right there. Straw. I had to find it. Sorry. All right. That was the last one. I got all the rest and I had them swatched. So I glued the body onto the little actual body with the base and the legs. And next I'm going to glue the little legs on, the little socks on the feet. I don't know what exactly they're called. I am going to pause the video and I'll be right back because I'm wheezing a little bit. Give me a moment, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to go get something to drink and use my inhaler. I love it. All right. I had injections. I had, well, a procedure last week, which helps with me being able to look down a little bit more and not have all the spasms in my neck. And the problem is when you have lupus and you're given steroids, one, it makes blood sugar go high, whether you're diabetic or not. But also, it weakens your immune system more, so you get sick. I didn't get sick. I just got a little bit of a... and I didn't want to cough in anybody's ears. So now we're going to take the face. Actually, let's do the hat. And the reason I start with the monkey first is because if you guys have been following me for a long while, or any period of time, I tell you to start with the smaller pieces first, because then it goes by a lot quicker, it feels like, and also you don't lose the pieces. The reason I did not dry piece her is because I've already created her, so I didn't need to dry piece the order that I was going to glue. And a trick I learned from a friend named Sarah, we are going to put glue on your finger or on the glass mat or whatever you're working on. If you don't have a glass mat, you can use a styrofoam plate, or you can use a glass tile, a glass plate, whatever you'd like. Parchment paper works great as well. So now we're going to take his little face. I've already put the eyes on, and what I did is I laid the muzzle down and I slid his eyes underneath it. And I pulled the muzzle off just to detail the eyes the best I could, because I will pull it into camera now so you guys can see. Don't mind all the tape. That's just what I use. This is what my ring lights are, and it's a magnet. Magnifying glass. Magnet. Oh my gosh. What the heck was I saying? Magnet. You guys knew what I meant. All right. So we're going to glue the ear pads, and this is the color oatmeal that I left out. We're going to glue those ear pads down. And I just have to make sure they're the right direction. So you're going to have the point on the inside. You want the taller peak going upwards. So once again, I'm going to add some glue to my finger just so I can control the amount going on. And yeah, Sarah, she has a page. She does a lot of planner stuff if you guys do that. It's called Peppermint Cactus. And also, if I make something that you guys really, really want, because I've cut back on custom orders just because it bogs me down, and I'm the kind with my OCD, I want to move on and bring people new things. And I don't mind doing a couple pieces, like I've done a few extra of her. But sometimes it's really hard for me to go and pedal backwards to do other pieces that I did a long while ago. And I feel bad making you guys wait. Alini Beanie, if you guys need her, message me. She will do custom orders as long as they're not bizarre and bonkers, you guys, you know, getting carried away. But if it's like just something that I've done and you guys want it and I can't get to it, feel free to ask her. I did talk to her tonight and she's willing to do them for you guys. She is just now at the point of building up her Facebook and her Etsy following. And that's where I was a few years ago. As you guys know, I was very small with my orders, and I love helping people out. I help you guys out, and I would love to help her out. So, and don't feel bad if you go to her. Her and I are friends. There's no secrets between us. She used to be on the design team with me, and she left me. I hope you watch this, Aline, and I hope you feel bad. No, I'm just kidding. She left. I should have left with her. I didn't. But anyhow, excuse me. She's trying to get her base built up a little bit more. And, you know, we all had to start from somewhere, and some of us it's easy, and some, you know, during COVID, it was a lot easier to build up a following because everybody had time to sit home on their phone. And now everybody's back to work for the most part. And it is one of those that it's a little bit more difficult. So what I'm going to do now is glue the hat on. And I must say, when I did him, I did put his hat down and the muzzle to make sure that my eyes weren't out of control too far up and the hat wasn't too far down. So now we're going to glue one arm behind him and one arm in front of him. I don't glue the arm in front of him on until I'm ready to go because I want to put the heart on first. I have to find the heart. It's somewhere over yonder. And the arm placement doesn't really matter. I can tell you that because I've done a few of these and they've all been placed in different spots. Let me see. Where's the heart that I had? There it is. All right. So I did put the heart on one side just because I thought it looked better on his bum than the front, but her hand covers it, so it kind of is forced to go there. Now, a recommendation I can give you is shrink the heart. That way you can put it right here and her hand won't cover it. Sorry about the tremors today, guys. It's usual for me if you've been following me. For the new people, I got in an accident back in 2016 and my neck was broken. I have cadaver bone from the base of my skull to the middle of my shoulders with a fusion. So there's plates holding all of those bones together. So most people can move their head like, you know, backwards and then forwards to look down and then left and right. I don't have that ability. I can look about this much left, this much right, and about that much down. So when I sit, I'm actually hunched over kind of at the waist because I can't just bend my neck. I do this because the doctor said use it or lose it, and he's very correct. You use it or you lose it. And I am not going to lose it, so we're going to use it. And this is what I started doing. So we're going to start with the smaller clumps of pieces, meaning we're going to do the bow and the shoes and then the hair to get all of those bulk small pieces together and out of the way. Now, what I did with the bow, and I just want to show you guys, it's the extra things in life. This is why you guys love me and ordering from me, is what you tell me. It's the little extra add-ons, but this gives it dimension. So when you ink it, make sure that you ink the base, which for some reason I did not do because it was an afterthought. And I'm just going to cover my corners like such. And it does not have to be perfect on this part. You just want to make sure that your edges aren't super light. That way when it's lifted up, nobody can see. And be careful when you're inking with these because it leaves little, let me zoom in and see if I can bring it into screen here. It leaves little pieces. Here's another one. And if you take your finger and wipe it down, you are going to make a mess and possibly smear it onto your other cardstock. I usually don't ever ink over my pieces like that because I've smeared it on my peach cardstock, but here's a good example. So if you ink, make sure that you have a clear area, none of your pieces. That's where buckets come in handy. They are my best friend. These buckets came from, oh yes, my little treasure chest. These buckets came from Arby's, but I'm sure Del Taco has them. They have the little ones. And when I go through a drive-thru for a drink, I normally ask for a couple and they give them to me. Or from the grocery store if you have a Kroger, because we have food for less, but it's Kroger. They have little freezer things called Itty Bits. And I use buckets for everything to keep my pieces in one place, to separate my pieces, and also to keep my desk clutter-free when I'm inking. So these little mishaps don't end up all over my pieces where I've ruined a piece, because I actually, is it this nose? One of the noses I have to throw out. I've already recut it out because I got a little piece of the foam on it and I went like this out of habit and I smeared across the nose, which is fine. So now that we got that out of the way, let's glue the bow. So we're going to put this part on first. This is the mid part. And you will see why here in just a moment. We're going to push this down. Now, I know that you guys can't always find these. They should be pinned to the that comment on my Facebook, as well as these. You want a silicone tip, because if you watch me, I just got the glue that was protruding from the side off without ruining my piece. Another thing you guys need is a gummy eraser, and all these are linked. I did all the footwork, went to the, like I was going to rebuy it, to the buy now or buy again option on Amazon. That way I could end up getting the exact piece that I'm using for you guys, and I just did that on accident. We're not going to do that yet. So don't glue that back part yet. What you're going to do is you're going to bend your cardstock around that center piece right there. And that way then you have some movement to it. And I just do it a couple times both ways just to make sure. And now we'll glue the back. And you'll see exactly where to glue by your crease marks. Let me grab a sip of water. That's what I went and got, was water, when I said I'd be right back. But I paused the recording on the camera. So you're going to line it up with the base. And if you did what I did and just shifted, you can tell I'm using Barely Art because it's sliding. It's not dry. It takes a moment longer than the art glitter glue. But I just grabbed Barely Art because I haven't opened my new bottle of Barely Art glue yet. No, of art glitter glue, sorry. I wanted to use the rest of my Barely Art, and I have big ones of the art glitter glue. I know that there was a story going around that they don't ship. I haven't had any problems. If you do get it during cold months, though, no matter what glue, you want to shake no matter what you're using. I've already shook it because I've been using it. But that breaks up the glue fibers, those long things that look like snot. And that'll break those glue fibers up for you so your glue isn't chunky. And that's just something I've learned over time. So there's her bow. We gave it a little bit of dimension. And we now will do the hair, and then we'll move on to the shoe and then get her going. So this weird teardrop piece is going to be the midsection of her big hair. And I generally would have shrunk the hair, but it was perfect sizing for the piece with the hair bow. So I left it alone, because generally I do go in and adjust the hair. That's why you guys will say, yours looks different than mine. I do adjust sizes individually, and I've been doing that for quite some time, but I've been using Cricut Design Space for I've been using Cricut for many, many years. And I've gotten very familiar with Design Space because I play around with it. When the new updates come out, I play around with that as well. Plus, I've watched Jennifer Maker. If you guys don't know who she is, definitely check her out. She will get you very comfortable with your Cricut machine. So for the bow, there is little, like a little divot right here. And the tips of the bow are going to line up with the little divots, the little triangle where it meets at the top and it gives you the divot. That's going to be what I just lined that up with. So it'll be your hair base, the teardrop, and then the bow. You can glue this on after. It just makes it easier for me so I can hold it close to my face because I'm blind. All right, let's do the shoes now. And it appears that I don't have an arm, so I'm going to still it out of the other bucket. In worst cases, I will cut out another one, because I don't want to delay the video and make it longer. We just need 2 arms. So the shoes are very, very simple. Your pieces that are black are those are the soles. They're going to go on top. And then you're going to have 2 pieces like this. And this is the little ankle that would have a buckle on it. I might go back and add little buttons. That's going to be what I do. I am going to go dig or little rhinestones. It's an afterthought, but that's going to be exactly what the finishing touches I need for her, and maybe even for earrings as well. I might do buttons for her shoes right here, and then rhinestones for her little ears, but you'll see in the finished picture what I decided to go with. I'm going to play around with everything and see how I feel. Also, I have those little flowers. That might cut the cake for me. I think that I have to see if I have the right color though, because I have tons of fun stuff. I always look for things to add texture, you guys. I did the title. I did a few titles, and I try to add glitter paper, plaque paper, a lot of different textures. And that just, it's my comfort level to use different papers and to experiment. But I also waste paper. But that being said, I've got enough paper to open my own scrapbook store, honestly. I don't waste a lot. I use it for scraps, but you'll see me with 2 or 3 of the same word cut out. It's because I tried and tried again. I do the colors in Cricut Design Space and decide my color choices. But sometimes when it's actually cut out of the paper, it's a different effect than what you were thinking mentally and visually. And that's why I will have 2 or 3 different. I cannot for the life of me. I guess it is down. I'm trying to line this up right here. And now this is where this comes in, because I have little glue bits from my fingers on the sole. All right. Now that's it for the shoes. So now we're just going to glue her together and put our monkey on, and she's done. It goes together once you learn to section your pieces, meaning your accessory or your embellishment, get those out of the way. And then you're going to chunk off the clothes, the shoes, the hair, the body, the arms, the legs, and work from the bottom up. Generally, I do because of Franklin. I am doing Franklin, and I'm going to use accessories from other sites like TreasureboxDesigns.com, Cuddly Cute Designs.com, Kadoodlebug Designs.com. Make sure you go and grab their weekly freebies. I go on Wednesday to make sure that I hit all of them and that I've managed to catch, the updated. Because I know for a while, some of them were doing it different days, and I found Wednesdays were perfect because all 3 of them, I ended up getting the new files for the week going on Wednesdays. So the shoes, you're just going to line her little foot up with those right there, the cutouts of the little shoe, which is adorable. And you could shrink the shoes if you like. It was an afterthought that I thought about doing it now that I'm gluing them together, but they're fine the way they are. I think it gives her a little bit more personality having big shoes, honestly. But if you're not a fan of the gigantic shoes, oh yeah, and go down the side here, because that is going to connect to that part and hold it. I don't want it to seep out, so we're going to get the excess off. That is the other thing I learned from Sarah. So Sarah, Peppermint Cactus is her Facebook. She does a lot of planners. She used to scrapbook. Her scrapbooking is beautiful. But she does a lot of also miniature house stuff. Excuse me. And she did a lot of titles and lettering, and I was like, why is there no glue like boo-boos on your piecings? I'm just in awe that mine, no matter how meticulous and careful I am, I have glue some way, somehow poking out from under those skinny little letters. She told me to tap the excess off on my finger, and I said, I would have never thought about that. Now the dress, it goes on very easily. The middle ruffle is going to go between the legs. That's going to be your lineup, and it's going to cover the body. And I just touched it with glue on my hand, and now I'm going to straighten it out because I'm a little off center on the upper part. All right, there we go. And that's it. Now we're going to glue her head on and her nose, glue her hair on, and then we'll add her little pigtails to the back, put the monkey on, and she's finished. I am definitely going to do videos for the ones that I cut out more than one of, like her. That way I have one that you guys can see already done is I showed in the beginning, even though I can show a picture, sometimes it's more encouraging for you guys to buy the file when you see it completed, not necessarily the cartoon picture that we get is the PNG or JPG file, the JPEG. And with the video, then I'm not doing a slower run trying to figure out and make sure that I got everything and it's where it needs to be. It's all just one smooth flow like this. So if you're wondering why I have white marker on the back of my piece, it is because I traced the head. So that way I wasn't going all bananas with the glue all over. Because this does not get glued up super far on her. Meaning far up on the back side. So I wanted to keep it a little bit more controlled, like so. I don't have all the extra glue that I would have generally. So now we're going to glue her arm on the back. And just some glue there. And I make sure to add a lot because that little arm is not very big. And I didn't do the base. Normally I go in and create it. Not every file has a base. And I'm trying to make it fair for everybody because I know some of you guys said you don't understand how to do the bases. I will try to do a video and give you both ways that you can create a base. Tammy Gonzalez, she is very, very sweet. And so is Dina St. Laurent. But so is Melissa Deuce. They are the owners of Treasure Box Designs, Kadoodlebug Designs, and Cuddly Cute Designs. I don't know who owns My Scrap Chick, but they also have freebies. And 3D pieces if you're into doing houses and whatnot in 3D. Also, don't forget Dreaming Tree, which is 3D SVG. That's 3dsvg.com or Dreaming Tree. You can just Google it. Tammy reached out to me from Cuddly Cute Designs and told me another way because I was struggling with the bases. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Even though I knew what I was doing, the sizing it was a pain in my rump. And she reached out to me and gave me an easier way to do it. So I don't mind sharing that with you guys. I will go ahead and do that. She is just the nicest lady ever. I don't mean to keep clearing my throat on you guys. It's not intentional. It's just that dryness. So we're going to add glue to this side of her hair now to glue on the pigtail. You can adjust them higher or lower. I kind of tried to go off what I saw in the picture just because they're perfect the way they are. And I didn't really see a need to move them all around. But she goes together pretty easy, as you can see. We're moving right along. Now that we've got her glued together, we're going to glue the other arm onto the monkey. Like so. And the reason why I glued this on last is to get that above that heart. And there goes the tremors again. Yipes. That's why I glued that on last, is so I could get that heart above there. Now here's another trick right here. We're going to do just a little bit of glue there. And we're going to tilt the arm here. And now we will put the glue on the back of the little guy. And we're going to go all the way down. I'm just thinking of what next pieces I can do for you guys. And if you're struggling on a piece or a set, let me know. Whoa. I guess I didn't. I forget Barely Art Glue doesn't dry as fast as Art Glitter Glue. So we're going to take that off for a minute. And we're going to turn this way. And we'll put the arm back on. I have to remember that Barely Art Glue does dry a lot slower than Art Glitter Glue. That's why that didn't stick. But generally, that's how I place my arms when I do these. Is I do half of the arm so I can just slide the piece in, but I have to remember Barely Art Glue dries a lot slower. It's not a lot slower, but it gives you a little bit of time to adjust and move your piece wherever you need to before it sits. Unlike Art Glitter Glue, it seems as soon as it touches the piece of paper, it's glued. But she's done, you guys, and now I'll just go in after and add all my details. And she will be in my Etsy store. I have a couple more to do, but take care, guys, and thanks for watching.